Okay, so unlearning the societal conditioning and trying to figure out who you really are rather than who you've had it communicated to you that you're expected to be, or the role that you've decided that you'd like to be seen as. Some might call this process self-realization, or I don't know, any number of terms. It's not about what we call it. Just realizing that following the societal messaging about taking your place in the rat race ain't what you necessarily really want to do when you figure out who you really are and what you actually genuinely feel called to do. This is a process of looking at where your desire to be seen that way by other people is rooted in your ego and trying to control how you are perceived. And you can't control how you are perceived. All you can control is how you really show up, what choices you actually make, what you really choose to do. Validating from within, independently, rather than seeking codependence on external validation from others. This does not mean that there is no room for external validation. You will never transcend the fact that you are a human being. So you will struggle with, but like things that make your ego feel good, no matter how self-aware you become, no matter how conscious you become, there will still be that chemical animal reaction of your ego feeling good. It's just about how aware you are of it, and do you indulge in using that validation, that external validation, like a drug, like do you accept the dopamine hit or the rush of endorphins and like start to be like, ooh, yeah, I like feeling that. Let me keep living in a way that will keep providing that for me. Spoiler alert, it's diminishing returns on each one of those dopamine hits. It's don't get caught up chasing that dragon, because it'll never feel as good as that first hit felt. Let's see. I had the train of thought going, and now I was talking about the ego. Yeah, so like, I guess this has to do with, so pretty much everybody has ego wounds. Like times where other people in the past failed to show up for you how you wanted them to, or thought you wanted them to, or deserved for them to. Most of us probably have either a mother or a father wound, or both. I don't know. They say hurt people, healed people, healed people. I wonder if it's like healing is kind of asymptotic. You never, you can get closer and closer and closer. I don't know if you can ever really you can't resolve the fact that you're a person and you feel the things you feel. So I do wonder if you can be healed enough to where you and your partner genuinely don't pass on any generational cycles to your child. And I mean, I'd have to think about, or I don't know. I guess I'll have to keep living and see what life puts on my path. But, you know, you've got your mother-father wounds, and then you've got your socialization with peers wounds, both dating and platonically. You know, maybe you didn't feel like you fit in with the boys at school. Maybe you didn't feel like you fit in with the girls at school. Maybe you didn't feel like you fit in with the theater kids. You know, the kids who would go on, the kids who sat separately from the boys and sat separately from the girls, and later on it would become clear were the queer LGBTQIA plus blue hair, etc. You know, not being accepted, not belonging. Well, if you carry those wounds rather than work on healing them, then you will find those situations repeating. You will find yourself attracting the same type of person, building the same unhealthy dynamic, because subconsciously you will be seeking a dynamic that proves that thing in the past wrong. So you'll be looking for the same type of person, but to try and make it go a different way. So that you can prove to yourself that you didn't deserve how that thing played out in the past. And you can see how if you are attracting the same type of person to you, it's not gonna go a different way. You know, it's just going to keep on happening, and you're going to keep thinking, oh, what's wrong with me? Why does this keep happening to me? I must deserve this, etc., etc., etc. Not a great cycle. I mean, I'm in hermit mode lately. It's been awesome. Been having a great time making these videos. And I guess that I am trying to break a cycle of, you know, while my literal hunger and whatnot needs were met in my childhood house, there was not a lot of space, time, energy, etc. for my emotional needs were kind of neglected, to be honest. And so I can see pretty clearly now. It was getting clear these past couple of years how I have, in romance certainly, but even in platonic relationships, so, you know, been drawn to wounded, avoidant people who I thought, I don't know, if I give in the way that no one gave to me, maybe this person will, I don't know, come validate my worthiness to receive that which I never received or something. But flip it on its head. Stop seeking for somebody else to come be your masculine or feminine counterpart who can provide you that thing that your mom or your dad did not. Both the masculine and feminine energy exist within you. Be your own parent, be your own partner. All that love that you've been waiting to pour into somebody else, pour it into yourself. And, you know, try and monitor where your things that you think that you want for your life to look like, for your partnership to look like, for your friendships to look like. Try and be conscious of where your ego is taking over, and it's not actually, you know, you might realize, like, let's say you're the avoidant who does the running. When you get that thing that your ego told you wanted, you keep running from it. So maybe that's not actually what you want. Yeah, and if you're, I don't know, anxious attachment, if you overgiver, that thing that you think that you want, you keep having to give and give and give and give just to get breadcrumbs, just to get scraps. And you tend to be anxious the whole time that you might be entangled with that person, and it doesn't actually make you feel good. And then because you get caught in the cycle of trying to give more and more and more and more and getting more and more debt, you push it away. It gets pushed away. It naturally is repelled away from you. So clearly, I think the idea is to spend your time being with the people who are naturally gravitate towards you. I say too much. I say too much. I watched some of the videos back and I just realized I've probably been saying all the way through this one. So, ego. Oh, and then, I don't know. I guess I'll save it for a future video. I guess I also wanted to talk about why it is that walking this path triggers people so much. Why it's so hard and scary, and how low-key people will want to, they don't want to do it, and they see that the change within you is going to mean less time, less energy of yours towards them. Subconsciously, they see it. So they try to make you doubt that you're making the right choice. And then also, like, it triggers them that something that they hate about themselves, I mentioned this in a previous video, triggers them that something that they are insecure about within themselves is something that you are okay with within yourself. And they, rather than looking at that and saying, hey, maybe I can learn to be okay with this within myself, they look at it and say, I must make this person insecure of that within themselves so that I can be validated in taking this path of least resistance of continuing to be insecure in this thing within myself. This self-work, self-cultivation, self-realization, consciousness, awareness, mindfulness, this thing, internalized validation, it ain't the path of least resistance. It is the path because it requires admitting and learning and knowing all your shortcomings, and then telling yourself that it's okay for you to have those shortcomings. You'll work on them. You'll work on minimizing them. You'll work on, not letting them be their worst versions of themselves. But it's very counter because when you are still in the societal conditioning, you are so conditioned into ignoring your intuition. This thing of actually following your intuition is quite counterintuitive, because you've been taught, because it is intuitive and you've been taught to be counterintuitive. All right. Banger video, folks. Everything obviously made sense. Nothing, no, I'm just messing around. One thing that I realized, I'm trying to spread this, I guess I already knew it going in. That's what part of the reason why it took me so long to get around to doing a project like this. I want to spread whatever knowledge it is that I feel like I have. But one thing that's inherent about that process is that I am also therefore spreading the ignorance that I have. I don't have this stuff all down perfect, and also I am very open-minded to some to some pretty whatever, just you don't know. I need to tell you, and I'm having trouble coming up with the words. I am just, I don't know, I've said frou-frou in a lot of these videos. I am pretty, I don't know, willing to be seen as crazy and willing to be open-minded to ideas that are crazy. And so there's a lot that I have, there's a lot that spiritual people will say that I think most people are pretty closed-minded to. And I am open to those things. And I don't know, I guess I have my own insecurity in making these videos about some of the stuff being so out there that it makes the stuff that I know for sure is credible, that it helps people to reject those ideas. And I really would, I don't know. I mean, so far no one's watching these videos, and that's cool. I'm just yapping into the void, I guess. Still fun to make. But I don't know. I do hope that somebody out there can find some healing, find their true path, find their way. If they're feeling lost, that these videos might help somebody to feel less lost. Okay. Peace, y'all. Be present. Enjoy the present. Have gratitude for and appreciate the present, because there's probably something dope going on. Don't overlook it. Peace.